Hello, everyone. This is George Mesa with the Bass Player University. And I'm not holding a bass as I make this lesson, or I should say this video, but I want to discuss a topic that isn't necessarily about bass guitars. It's really about music in general. It's about finding your voice as a bassist through other instruments. And I guess at a certain level, it's about what bass does. Because, and I wasn't even planning on mentioning this, but now that it's here, in a flute solo, there is bass. There's bass implied. Especially in a solo guitar piece, let's say, the lowest note that you hear at any given time in that texture, that is the bass. The function of bass and understanding it can be grown by not playing bass. I had never played piano until I went to music college. And then, of course, I was playing piano every day because I had to catch up. But playing that and realizing that our studies began with the word bass, I was actually I was happily surprised. I did not expect studies to begin with bass. And soon afterwards, I did join a Hawaiian band, which was pretty cool. And I started playing ukulele. And suddenly, on that 4-string, I began to find my own bass technique coming through it, but also it helped me to realize the importance of bass. On ukulele, you ask? Absolutely. It's almost twice as important to know what voicing of the chords you're using on ukulele, because the lowest, the 4th string is higher than the 3rd string. Now, I had to actually focus. As I got better and better at it, I started to realize that, hey, interestingly, the shape you learned for F major, it has a C at the bottom. It's an inversion. And there's discussion about this in a previous episode. And hey, if that is already more information than you understand, I teach theory too. I don't just teach bass guitar. But getting back to it, the lowest note is not F in the traditional first taught F major chord on ukulele. And yet it's one of the most important chords on the instrument. So now suddenly, as a learned bass player, as a scholastically studied bass player, I had to reevaluate everything about the simplest little voicings on my ukulele because the chords weren't sounding in root position. The bass was wrong. If you were to play a C on an F chord on the downbeat of a measure, not the best option. Unless, of course, you had somehow set it up or it's a huge 8 measures of F section and, you don't play it on the very first measure, of course. There's ways. There's always the option. But first thing we do as bass is we play the root on the downbeat. So playing another instrument not only gives me perspective on chord voicings and how to approach the instrument as a bass player. The options are much bigger on guitar and piano, of course. But it also gave me a better feel and a better just sense of what to do when not being so much of a bass player. Let's say you're asked to solo. Let's say you're just creating in the moment and trying to find some kind of counter melody. Think about reggae or Motown for counter melodies. It was a very freeing experience. And of course, same thing with piano. Suddenly my left pinky was the bass player. So this was, again, a great way for me to, after years of 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day. I didn't even sleep. It wasn't because of bass, but I did take advantage of the extra time in the day. Suddenly I had a chance to see things differently, because I don't think it's necessarily good to do nothing but bass guitar. Absolutely nothing else, maybe not the best idea. Sure, focusing on an instrument is the goal. You want to be proficient and you want to have one of these instruments be what you do. Bass guitar is what I do. But by becoming comfortable on other instruments, you become more comfortable on your main instrument. Believe me, if you haven't tried it. I'm not the only one that feels this way. And of course, I still have ukulele, guitar, theory students, but bass is always going to be my main performing and teaching instrument. And I want to also mention that the human voice is the most versatile instrument there is. Nothing can do all of the things that the human voice can do. Limitations aside, and a lot of those have been broken over the centuries for sure. If you can sing your bass parts, not only are you automatically awesome, but you become a better bass player right away also. And you start to learn more about your range and how the bass relates to the range of your own voice. It brings you closer to the instrument. And what I find a lot of people traveling in this way towards musical excellence, let's call it, they often do find themselves in a 5-string or a 6-string all of a sudden, just to have the option when needed. Look, if I've been playing a song I know, or if I learned a song I know in F major, and then the singer comes out and sings it down a whole step in E flat, having a 5-string is really good. You don't want to have to detune just to grab the low E flat that you're going to need now. Theory helps you do this. Learning other instruments helps you do this. The point of this conversation is that you can get stuck and stagnant if you only play your instrument of choice, and which is hopefully bass guitar. Obviously, this is the Bass Player University, but I can't recommend enough especially if you've never done it, taking a small break, finding your own bass perspectives on another instrument. Go right back to the bass. You'll automatically, at the very least, have exciting new ideas to try. And you may even find different feels for how you pluck, where you pluck. These are all, in the end, always going to be very beneficial to your musicality and get you closer to finding out who you are as a bassist, which is my goal as a teacher and here with the Bass Player University. So if you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, message me. All my contact information is in the show notes. You can visit my website as well and join my mailing list. I just released my newest newsletter, and it was essentially this. And I wanted to coincide it with a video as well, so you can see me saying these things. It's not the same, of course, when it's written. But I feel very strongly about this, and I think that you should, even if you don't own an instrument, try to sing some bass lines. And maybe there's ghost notes and weird stuff to try to imitate it. See what happens. I guarantee it will benefit you. It'll make you a better bass player almost right away, too. And last but not least, if you can sing it, you can play it. Try to sing one the next time you're learning a bass line. See if you can sing any of it first, and then match it to the instrument. I think it's fun, and I hope you do too. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.